And hey, we're coming to you live, pre-recorded from wherever you're watching or listening. This is the Far Reaches Codcast? No, my God, it's a podcast. Congratulations. Yeah. And another thing, Ossifer. No. Welcome, everybody. We are fully reached this time, this roundabout. We got all the reachers in place. Some have moved around since last time, but we were all here, and we thank you for stopping by to listen or cuss at us or shake your head, or some people listen to us to feel a lot better about themselves, and that's okay. We appreciate that too, because a listen is a listen is a listen. And once again, this week we are sponsored by our excellent good time friends at B&K Auto Salvage and Recycling, located on Highway 203 in the Grand Ronde Valley, outside of La Grande and beautiful downtown historic Baker City. So they're your nice used auto parts and scrap metal dealer. That's B&K Auto Salvage, 541-963-6744. And you tell them the Far Reachers sent you. So, good day, kids. How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Outstanding. Raleigh, you look like Santa Claus in training, I got to tell you. Kind of got the little red shirt on. The beard's coming in nicely. Kind of got the ho yourself look about you. I like it. It's nice. It works.
Jolly little fat guy.
I thought you were going to call me something else. Yeah, so awesome. Then we got Mr. Bradbury looking sharp, having a nice orange. That's a good festive seasonal snack. So, as always, we'll kick this episode off with our weekly update. Mr. Joel, since you are probably in a different part of the world again since last time, how about you kick it off with your beautiful macrame behind you?
Yeah, back in New York again. So,
outstanding.
Came back on Monday. Just in time to get out of Oregon for your shutdowns.
Good timing. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's still open here, I think, but except for the schools, I think they shut those down today.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Just working still, catching up on some projects, learning about Volcker rules still.
Sounds cool. Still remote.
It's good to be back,
are you still remote, right? Is that correct? Nobody going to the office?
Yeah.
Or is that an option?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have the option to go back until at least the summer.
Oh, okay. Are you modifying your home office motif based on that, or are you just kind of struggling through and working from the coffee table?
No, yeah. Actually, while I was gone, Jess purchased 2 desks, a couple chairs. I have a computer monitor coming and a keyboard. So I'm going to have a whole office set up here.
Nice. It does make it a little easier, I found, also to have a bit more of a office simulation, even though you're at home. So, well done.
It's kind of hard to find room for 2 workstations in 550 square feet.
Pictured they might be like bunk beds, actually. Yeah, like, hey, reach down and grab a pen. Yeah, so.
This is one of the desks.
Oh, outstanding. So it looks like
attached to the wall.
It's basically a TV tray. Yeah, that's handy though. Pretend you're on an airplane working. Yeah. And just don't put the seat back in front of you.
Yeah. That's about what it is, an airplane tray table.
Yeah. Outstanding.
I got a question for you, Joel. What kind of a building are you in? Like, how big of a building?
This apartment building is I think like 8 units, 4 floors, 2 apartments per floor, I think, maybe 3. So I guess maybe it's 12. There's backyard, which we can't access.
You can see it though from the kitchen. It's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You have to be an owner in the co-op to use it, but we're just renting, obviously. Yeah, one of the typical pre-war old building.
Is there like are you over a barbershop or right next to one? I don't remember. Something like that.
Right next door to a barbershop, like a traditional black guy barbershop. And then there's another like a black guy tailor on the other side.
Cool. And there's some nice little
a trailer for you.
Probably not, no.
Well, all the clothes in the window seem like, I'm sure he could. Obviously, he could do anything. I'm sure. I think he's probably pretty talented. He was in the New York Times, actually.
Yeah.
Right after I moved in here, they featured his shop in the Times.
Hey,
It's
what
just,
do they call those guys? Haberdasher.
I don't know.
yeah, good word.
There's a word of the week.
I
Word
was
of the
going to
week.
say,
right
are
there.
you giving us a little sneak preview of your word of the week, Richard? Are you dropping some magic nuggets early? Richard's in the back of his head. Oh shit, I've got word of the week this week. Yeah. So
Coming up with SAT words.
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think it's historically black Taylor, I guess you might say. Yeah. So neat neighborhood though. I actually dig it around there. I got a chance to visit last year and it's pretty cool.
What borough is it in?
I'm in Brooklyn.
Mm. Do you have an estimate what it would cost if you were going to purchase that apartment?
Well, yeah, it's actually for sale right now. And I want to say it's like 859,000.
Yeah. Look at Rawls. Yeah. And it's 550 square feet. Is that correct?
Yeah.
No parking,
But it's got
but
a
it's got a courtyard.
fake 10 ceilings, a wooden thing over the oven.
Hmm.
Pretty fancy.
It is nice. It's very well equipped. Yes. But yeah, Raleigh's still scooping the load out after he heard the yeah. It's a good location, neat neighborhood, low maintenance. I mean, basically, what do you open the window and kind of dust off the fire escape every once in a while? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the real benefit of it and the price is, there's really no home maintenance involved. If you need
Mhm.
like a new roof, well, I guess you pay for it technically through your co-op fees
Yeah.
if you're an owner. But there's nothing that you have to worry about and budget for outside of the expected cost.
Sure.
I don't know if that equals having to have $1 million to live here, but
Probably not. But I mean, you don't have to have a car payment. That's kind of nice.
yeah.
You can Uber it or yeah. Anyways, well, two different worlds, my good sir, and you've been jumping back and forth between both of them with skill. So I'm sure you've had culture
bi-coastal.
shock at both places. Yeah, we still love you if you're bi-coastal. That's okay. Yeah, we're your friends. Yeah, we're not going to judge too much. Yeah. So, Rawls, what about you? What's your weekly update, good sir?
Not a whole lot. Just Kel and I went to Lewiston, bought some bred heifers, and then moved some cows to a different pasture today. All the snow went off, so we're not feeding right now.
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of nice.
But
Outstanding.
you already had snow and it's already gone?
Yeah, we had probably altogether a foot and a half or better, and then it all went off in about 2 days on Sunday and Monday.
You have a little Chinook come through there or something?
Yeah, no,
Slightly?
it was 60 degrees and 40-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it went off pretty good. So it's a little more like what we hoped for, and get to pull our horns in on pitching hay right now for a little bit and see what happens after the 1st of December. Hopefully, the
Yeah.
weather looks pretty good till then. So
Outstanding.
yeah, that's about it. That and getting my eyebrows raised at our Oregon shutdown bullshit. So,
Ah, yes. Yeah. I thought you said you're going to get a haircut, but then you finished your sentence, and I was like, yes. Yeah. Her Highness the Governor. Yeah.
yeah. So, and that's about it. I guess kind of sitting and wondering who our president's going to be. But,
I still, what some would say TBD. Yes. So, well, you've already got a queen of Oregon. You don't really need to worry about a president of the United States. So, yeah, take that.
she can't understand normal thinking, I swear.
How was the general census of the good old Wallout County clan? How are they accepting it? They're saying pound sand. I'm just going to go do my job. I mean, most people probably doesn't affect too much besides some local business, right?
I don't know. In typical Wallowa County fashion, I might talk to 2 other people besides my wife every week. So
Pretty much. You guys are pretty much the definition of social distancing already.
Yeah.
So,
I don't. I'm sure the general consensus is pretty similar. There's a lot of bullshit. She's somewhat overstepping her bounds. I mean, this one size fit all deal is stupid. Because
Well-
we've got cases. I don't know what we're up to in the county now. 70 cases total in the county, and
Total?
total.
Since March?
Yes, since March. And so Yeah,
That
but
doesn't.
our population is 5,000. So, I mean, I don't know what that figures out to, but it's not that great.
No.
And it does nothing but hurt the economies of these small communities by shutting all their businesses down.
Oh yeah.
It's just, I don't know. That bitch can go pound sand for all I care.
Affirmative. Yes. For those of you listening at home or driving down the road and wondering, go pound sand pretty much means stuff it up your ass. So it's one of our favorite sayings here on the Far Reachers. And so if you got your own saying for your favorite shove it up your ass, please send that in to Far Reaches and we'll get it on the air sometime. But for now, the official go screw yourself is go pound sand. So I want to just drop that in case somebody's
I wrote
Googling.
a comment today.
What's that?
I wrote go pound sand in a comment today.
Outstanding. Yes. I guess I just realized that GPS is the abbreviation for that. So that's really cracking me up right now. You know, like I've never made that connection before. All the times that you go pound sand, it's GPS. So yeah, I'll help you go
Speaking
find
of
it.
that Kate, her colleague, I find this story incredible. The Joanne Hardesty, the city councilwoman in Portland.
Oh,
she was in like the lift.
In the lift. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a defund the police woman and called 911 on a Lyft driver for.
Basically, wanted to put her at a gas station in probably a bad neighborhood, and she was having none of that. Yeah. Yeah. And the guy's like, the poor cop's like, well, ma'am, it's his car. He can ask you to leave at any time. Yeah. Yeah.
It was unreal.
What do you have to do to get an Uber driver to get you to leave?
I mean, exactly. Yeah.
I thought I'd push the limits because I've ridden in a Lyft in oil field, getting picked up in the middle of the night, and I guarantee you nobody wants to deal with that. And we didn't have any problem.
It takes a special kind.
How big of an ass you got to be to get the Lyft driver?
Yeah, I'd suggest you just Google her and watch some YouTube. About 30 seconds to tell you all you need to know about her attitude. Yeah. Well, yeah, she literally called the cops because the guy had enough of her shit for whatever it was and wanted to dump her off at a gas station. And she was like, that's not happening. Yeah. So the poor cop, but it was a really classic example of, these cops are evil. We need to defund them. And the next first thing she does is call a cop. So, yeah. People's Republic of Oregon. There you go. So
it really is it's such a different state on the east side. I saw that two counties I think voted to join Idaho, and they're actually talking about it. Like, how's this going to work?
The greater Idaho, is that what they call it? Yeah.
Yeah, but would Idaho even want those counties? I don't know.
Oh, I think they've talked a bit behind the scenes already, and I think they're probably for it. Because Idaho's getting influxed also from people from other southern states. Like the Boise area is really hot for the California market. So, they're probably concerned also. They're going to see the same thing like Austin. I don't understand why people leave a state because they think it's crazy. Part of it, they want to go to someplace beautiful for part two. And then when they get to the place they're going, they want to make it just like the shithole they left. And it's like, what are you doing, man? Like you're doing the same exact thing here that you just left for a reason. So that's got to be disturbing.
Pass a law that you have to live in the state for like 5 years before you can vote.
I thought about that the other day too. I thought,
or run for any type of council position.
There's that too. Yeah. Yeah, you kind of have to.
Well, you can't vote in the state you just left.
What's that?
You just can't vote for 5 years because you sure as hell shouldn't be able to vote in the state.
No, it's like, hey, you gotta do your time, man. Yeah, I think. Richard, you got shit internet connection again. Are you on a sundial or something?
My son Richard voted in the first election this year. Oh, seriously, I'm not lying. There was a ballot cast for him in California.
For who?
Richard Jr.
Oh, outstanding.
Albert Bradbury voted in the California election at the tender age of 3.
Wow. Congratulations. Yeah. So, market crayon or something, or how'd that work?
Magic. I don't know how, but he's on the voter rolls.
Well, now, yeah, that's something to behold and
Huh.
maybe further explore, because you're like, you know what? I don't got my eye on him all the time, but I'm pretty damn sure he wasn't in California voting. I'll put it that way.
I was pretty sure he was apolitical, but guess I'm wrong.
Yeah. Oh, but
And
yeah.
since he's apparently a Democrat, I'm going to have to start charging him rent.
Well, that won't do any good. He'll just probably protest and not leave the room anyway. So, yeah, I think you're out of luck.
That's why he was boarding something in the living room when I came down here this morning. He's practicing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Probably sit in or something. Yeah. Holy crap. That's crazy, dude.
So,
What prompted you to, did you get noticed? Did you just on a whim, like, I wonder if my young son has voted yet? What caused that?
I found out about it in a sort of roundabout way that I really can't disclose, but
Sure.
yeah.
It's the way of the Bradbury. We understand that.
Yeah. Anyways, nonetheless, it was discouraging to hear. So,
Yeah. Tremendously, actually. Good Lord. Like, that makes my brain hurt. And it takes more and more to do that every day. Yeah. Wow. Kind of forgot where we're at. Yeah. So Raleigh was talking about his. Okay. I got you. All right. So, yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to hijack your section there, Raleigh.
No.
No, I think we're on to your.
Yeah. That definitely qualifies as an update. Yeah. Like, for the record, how old is your son again?
3.
3. That's
Oh,
what I thought.
3.
I thought he was just under 4 years old. Yeah. So.
So yeah.
So
We started weaning. All the cattle got back over the hill before the snow.
oh, good.
Oh, actually, in between a little break in the snow, but so that's good. Calves are thinking of way up well. I did a little test weight, so we're happy with that. I think our Airbnb, it's been open since into October, has cashed in $1,600 so far by the end of
That's not bad.
November.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good. Wow,
So,
outstanding.
He's up.
I don't know if he's just really pondering or if he froze. I can't tell the difference. Yeah. I need to have something moving in the background.
Real got some other stuff.
Or sorry, you froze for a second and we couldn't tell if you were like just really pondering about something or if your rubber band powered internet had gone to shit again. Yeah. So
Well, you guys could probably
Anyway,
make so much money.
go
Go ahead, sorry.
ahead.
I was just gonna. I went up to Raleigh's over the summer to pick up hay with my brother, and they had that house that's like, I think most of the time it's unused. Like, you should Airbnb that. You guys make so much money from that. Get tourists coming up there and check out the mountains.
yeah.
Plenty of places for those pilgrims.
What we're really saying is it's probably not enough money
You
to
don't
make it worthwhile. Yeah.
You don't want their dirty money.
I like the dirty money, not just the assholes that come with it. That's the problem. Yeah.
No.
Money's great. Yeah. Oh, that's I'm still hung up on the voting. Yeah, that's hilarious and sad all at the same time. So Operation Weaning's going well. You guys are all back home. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be the encompass my time until now and between now and the end of the year. So that and real estate. So mostly it's just work. So I don't have much exciting to report.
Well, sometimes work can do that for you. Yeah.
Yes. And then Lakeview, of course, is shut down. So school's shut down coming Monday till the end of the month, and guess we'll see where it goes from there. But it seems to me that there's all of a sudden a real, actually, either we're getting a real wave of the corona or it's something else. But all of a sudden there seems to be a lot of cases.
Well, might just be flu season. You
Yep.
guys are highly compliant, which is somewhat inspiring, but also concerning. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, and I guess you guys get kids get a hellacious Thanksgiving break. So
Yeah, no, yeah, it's sad what's happened in Oregon. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I think that it's really disheartening for business owners to
well,
survive the first wave of it, and then now they don't. It's such a hair trigger when she decides to do it, and she has no recollection for anybody. Well, I guess her overall origin is for the greater good, but
yeah, man.
she'll destroy a lot of stuff. She destroys a lot of stuff in the process of doing it. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I don't get why people go along with it. I think I don't want to say anything negative, but
I will.
no, I just think that it's sort of sad that she can use other agencies to carry out her thing, because there's no way that she could enforce it without agencies like OSHA and those kind of agencies.
Yeah, because they're acting like it's law, and I'm talking about most governors. Like I saw the governor of New York on TV yesterday briefly. I've heard a lot of stuff about the governor of Oregon and what they're doing in California as well. And you're talking about these laws are here, and it's like that's an executive order, man. Like this has not gone through the Senate and the House and the Cameron procedure like a law. Like this executive order for the good of the order or safety of the whole or whatever. That shit's got to stop after a while, because like this is. I've said this since basically 2 weeks in or so. Like this shit's not going to go away, man. I think that's step one. Like if this was like a train wreck of chlorine gas down the road, like, oh shit, okay, stay in your house 2 days till we get it all cleaned up and then it blows over. But like, this is some shit that's going to be here forever, because like all its predecessors, it's still here. So we got to live with it.
What you're going to have to start asking yourself pretty soon is, what is our responsibility to the people that are handing out the fines?
Yeah. Fine. A fine? Are you shitting me? Like seriously.
No, but I mean, like,
I mean, how ridiculous is that? You got to
it's your job, but then there's an ethical component to it. And if this continues and it intensifies, I would really hate to be those frontline people.
Yeah. Good luck collecting.
To what end do they take this? I mean, I think we've had a flu vaccine for 78, 80 years now almost, and we still have the flu every year.
Correct. So, yes.
Is this vaccine going to be a cure-all? I don't think so.
I'm
going to get a kick out of the flu vaccine's only like 40% effective. Somebody can correct us if I'm wrong, and they're saying that the coronavirus vaccine is going to be 95. How many years have we had to work on the flu virus?
Yeah,
We could bump coronavirus up to 96. We can't just ratchet that flu virus up?
Well, I'm just getting news in my ear over here.
This just in, yes.
They figure it's 33% effective year to year because of the way that the virus is mutating.
It's shifting and changing, and we're adapting. Some people adapt differently. Like we're seeing right now, obviously, this thing affects everybody very differently. Some people almost tits up on an incubator. Sorry, not an incubator, not a baby chick. Breathing problems. Other people don't even freaking know they have it. Okay. People definitely had it, didn't even know. And so I think it's just that different strain. And like the next year, it's going to be something different. Like this shit's here for a long time. It's going to be here next year. And hopefully so are we. So this whole stay at home till it blows over thing, not happening. The talk about mandatory vaccines, negative, Goat Rider. Yeah, you can stick my dead body after I'm dead if you're worried about me after that, but not happening. Yeah, not since I was like kindergarten or the military did I have a shot I didn't concede to. So that's the last freaking time that's ever going to happen. So I don't just tell you, yeah, it just does not add up in no way, shape, or form. Staying at home is not the answer. If you want to stay home and call in sick to work, ominous, more power to you. But I think we need to be out and about. If you're comfortable, the kids need to be in school. I think that's the safest place for the children. is there at the school. They're taking precautions if they want to, you know, take your mask, shove it up your ass, because it's not happening for me either. We went to lunch the other day in town. You know, Florida is pretty much a wide open state, but the area I live is still somewhat over the heavily influenced university system. I'll put it that way. So we were walking up to this Mexican restaurant with outdoor seating, and my buddy had his mask on because he likes to wear it. I did not. The lady meets us, comes out the door and meets us at the sidewalk and asks if I have a mask. And I said, no. She says, well, you have to have it to go sit at your table. And like all the people sitting at the table outside, literally 3 feet from me, nobody's wearing a mask. And I'm like, well, we're going to go somewhere else then. She's like, do you want a mask? I'm like, no, I don't want a mask. I had one folded up my back pocket in case I really needed to like go take a pee somewhere or something. So we got in the pickup, drove down the road about a quarter mile, went to a buffet place, no mask. Like they had a little hand sanitizing station where you could, like, they wanted you to put some gloves on before you got food. I'm fine with that. But yeah, nobody wearing masks in the entire place.
Don't worry, the E. coli and the salmonella kill COVID.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not to mention buffet country gravy probably kills pretty much anything anyways. But I was just like, you realize how ridiculous this is? That I'm surrounded by people, outside, sitting at tables with no masks on. They're all crammed next to each other. You're meeting me at the sidewalk because I'm going to attempt to either sit out outside or maybe walk in your precious building for 30 seconds and then sit at a table, or I can then remove my mask. 0 cents. Yeah. So, you know, some stores have it up.
Notice how much we hear. Notice how much we've been hearing about the coronavirus in North America, but Canada, Mexico, there's little trash talk going on in Sweden because they're the ugly stepchild of the whole deal. But nobody else is really talking about COVID in the world.
No.
But we seem to be, because I think of our political situation.
It's the shiny thing to talk about. Yeah. Completely.
Look over here.
I just had a message with someone overseas here the other day, and
oh yeah,
they said that there is zero COVID going on in that part of the world because there is very little social media and
I think I know the person you're talking about, and yeah, it's really, I would think of a lot of places that might actually be a hotspot, so to speak. But yeah, I think just don't buy any of it, man. I just don't buy any of it. It does not add up. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to deny that it's out there, obviously, and it definitely impacts people differently. But worst case scenario, all around that we've seen, it still is not near as bad as it's been played up to be when it first came out, or it's many other things we've dealt with. And I'm sure more people fall down in the shower and die every day than things like this. So, it just doesn't compute. And I think it's a sad state of where we're at. And this on and off shit, that dog don't hunt. It really, if in my mind, it's always about personal choice. So that's what it should still be now. And I truly believe that the schools need to be open. That stuff, these kids it can't be easy. They're socially enough awkward as it is, I think, going through. I remember back how school was. So on and off and in and out, it just doesn't make any sense. So, yeah.
I haven't looked into it specifically, but I've read things here and there that in the Southern Hemisphere, the flu this year was almost non-existent. And I haven't heard if there's been many cases of the flu so far here. Have you guys heard anything about it?
Not looked at the numbers. Anecdotal, I've heard there's a lot less documented flu cases this year because everybody that walks
People
the door probably.
So.
Well, not that, I don't think. I think if anybody's coming in and getting tested, they're probably going to get the Rona. Also, I mean, I don't recall anyways, and I can't say for 1,000% fact, but I've never had the test. Like, let's say last year I was feeling like shit and I didn't know exactly why. It sweats, maybe, feeling bad. I went and go see the doctor. To my knowledge, I've never had a quote unquote flu test. Like, Mikey, you've got the flu. Like, well, the best estimate is you got the flu. Go home, rest, drink some fluids, and get some rest. So it's another parallel. This weird thing about like we're looking for stuff we'd never looked for before, and guess what? We're finding it, and then we're freaking out. It's like, well, dude, I guess I'm betting last year if we'd have been testing for last year's version of the flu, we'd be finding very similar results to what we're finding this year because we're looking for it. So you can't quantify that obviously because we don't know how many flu cases were documented last year, but we damn near know every single one of the COVID this year. So maybe it's going to change forever as we move forward now that if you're ever sick, you get a test. But, that's the other part. It's like,
I bet it would suck to get both at the same time. That would probably be a death sentence.
is it even possible? I guess you could get two strains of the flu at the same time, right? Can you?
No, flu and coronavirus at the
Oh.
same time.
Well, that's what it is,
I
isn't
suppose
it?
you
I
could
don't know
get
why
them
you
both at the
couldn't.
same time.
Yeah. The only problem.
Well, what you got going on?
Offer accepted on the house I found. So we're going through the inspection process and all that fun stuff. And let me tell you, there's some different inspections in this part of the world you need to get. What is the technical term? Oh, the WDO inspection, which is the wood damaging object, which can be anything from a termite to mold, apparently. So I got that scheduled for tomorrow. So hopefully everything's not a shell when it comes back. Got a chance to build a little fence late this afternoon, and we had bull calf this afternoon also. So I had a couple of heifers around here that had calved yet. So last one finally calved. So it was a pretty nice little afternoon on the farm with a nice fence and bull calf healthy on the ground. And still working remotely and enjoying that also. So yeah, doing my thing, getting ready for Thanksgiving. Gonna smoke a turkey and have some maybe some socially distanced acquaintances over, see what everybody's schedule lines up. So yeah,
I think it's important to let the ladies know that Micah has one of the only wood burning fireplaces in all of Florida.
it's
If
massive.
that's your thing, ladies, Micah's got the place for you.
Yeah, the ladies. Yeah, it's a nice, massive fireplace. Probably hold heat for probably a week. Yeah. So
Are you going to get an alligator rug to put out in front of us?
Have to mount it over the fireplace.
you're the only one I
Can
want to
you-
mount over my fireplace. Yeah. And now I have to get an alligator
alligators
rug.
and
Yeah, I got a hunt license. I got to get a gator tag, but I know some places. Yeah. So yes,
then can
Richard,
you,
I
like,
need to get a
turn
gator.
them into boots and stuff. Can you do that?
Yeah. Well, I probably couldn't personally. I'm probably a pretty shitty crocodile
Hey,
skin.
got a
but
guy.
I got a
Got a
guy. Got to have a guy. Yeah. I'd love to have like the alligator version of the bearskin rug where it's all laid out and then it's got the big head on the front, like imagine running through the front room at 2:00 in the morning, go to the bathroom and you chip your toe on the alligator tooth or something, like, son of a, yeah. So maybe hanging on the wall, that'd be kind of cool. So, yeah, I'll have to go gator hunting for sure. Yeah. So it'll be pretty entertaining, but enjoyed some cool weather recently. We had like 39 or 40 the other morning, which some people think that doesn't sound that cold, but like imagine if you just got out of the shower and then walk straight outside when it's 40, it'll shrivel your pod. Yeah. So yeah. Shout out to Shriveled Pod. He listens quite a bit. He lives in Montana now, so he probably knows that's still true. But yeah, that's from college days. Hello, Shriveled Pod. Thanks for listening. So yeah, that's a good weekly updates, I guess. Yeah, we're having good times and got a good chance to meet a car guy that's local here, and it's like right out of a TV show. It's this little shop you'd almost drive by. Can you guys hear me? Am I breaking up?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I got a chance to meet this car guy. Little crappy shop, like you'd almost just drive right by it, and go inside and meet the guy. And there's like a '68 Charger on this side, and a it's a Mopar Daytona car. Like it's like there's like 2,000 ever made, and those are the first two cars I see when I walk in the shop. And then he's working, he's got like 10 other ones, and there's like 5 dudes running around working, like on all different types of cars, pickups, Camaros, and it's just some little weird shop along the road, dude. Awesome guy too. We went to have lunch and hung out. He's hilarious, but you'd never guess in the part of the country that I was at that this dude's got, and it does some top notch stuff too. It's really cool. So
You were just driving down the road and saw it.
My buddy knows him. We were going to go talk to him about.
Oh.
He's looking at a car deal that my buddy knows about. So he's like, "Hey, let's swing in and see Jim." And so we did. And we're like, "Hey, you want to go grab lunch?" He's like, "Well, I just ate, but I'll come with you guys and hang out." And we're like, "Sweet." He's like, "You want to check out the shop?" And I'm like, "Sure." And we walk in. Yeah, 68 Charger and a Daytona. Right, the first two things I see, and I was like, so yeah. And he had like 10 other ones in there, and he's just top notch. Huh?
What was that again? That you were like,
Yeah, literally foam coming over the top. Yeah, it was like 68 Charger. For those of you, it's the Dukes of Hazzard car sitting there. It was white, badass. Yeah. So and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got the Scout. I'm doing an Escalade underneath it," and all. And I was just like blown away because it literally looked like just a standard like paint shop maybe. But yeah, he's a hoot. So yeah, it was a nice 2-hour lunch and just telling stories with him and talking about cars and guns and airboats and all sorts of random stuff. But just the random things that you stumble upon. So it's pretty cool. Speaking of stumble upon, we're going to go ahead and kick it on over to the movie of the week. This week, sponsored by Mr. Bradburr for all your Bradburr movie needs. And Richard picked, I think, very timely, The Big Short, which, if you haven't seen it yet, it's talks about the housing bubble when that first occurred. 06, 07, 05, that realm?
07, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome cast. You got, I scrolled way down. You got Christian Bale, Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Brad Pitt plays a dude like you hardly even recognize unless you're looking for Brad Pitt. Directed by Adam McKay. So, kind of a deviation for him for sure. Richard, why did you pick this movie for us to explore?
I picked because of the very last speech that Mark Baum gives at the end when he's sitting with the Bear Stearns guy.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's something he said in 2008, and I think it holds very true even today. Like, he called what's happening now back then. So I just really like his pessimism. And no, but the other reason I picked it is because it's just a movie about how we don't really understand what we take for granted. And just because it's been one way forever, it doesn't really mean that that's what the truth of it is. So
yes, that was.
And I think I don't know. I don't want to get political, but
oh yeah, well, shit, we would never do that. Yeah.
No, I just think that it's a good example of like how deaf the media is to the fraud that's going on in the election, regardless of whether it goes for Trump or it goes for Biden.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like they held to the housing market rock solid. Don't worry about it. I remember before 2008, it was don't panic, and one bank after the other one just collapsed, and then we ended up going into a 10-year recession, pretty much, that we just barely got out of in time for this to hit us. But that's because we took something for granted that wasn't correct. Just like I think that regardless of how the election outcome comes down, probably shouldn't be taking that for granted anymore, and that should probably all get fixed in the next 4 years.
Nice. Certainly.
There. That's why I picked the picture.
Well, yeah, and
I think that paralleled a lot of stuff going on now.
Certainly, yeah, and and sort of the plot, if you will, or the crux of the whole deal is this guy is looking at all the markets and he starts digging into all these bundled mortgages that are getting put together, and he's like, wait a minute, most of these are crap. So he wants to short the market, i.e. bet it's going to fail. And everybody's like, you're going to bet the housing market's going to fail? That's like, people always pay their mortgage. But they were giving mortgages to people like then, your son probably had a mortgage. And so, one of the things that really struck me is like when it's really starting to crumble, yet all the people are still rating these things really high and secure. And like, wait a minute, no, they're not at all. And you're still, well, if we don't, somebody else is going to. And it's like, that's a problem. Like that really struck me so hard. It's like just quote unquote protecting the system basically, because if we don't, somebody else will. It's like, but it's not. And the longer you let it go on, the worse it gets. Like our voting system now. Yeah, it's jacked up, man. I don't have any faith in it whatsoever. I would have more faith in a rigged PTA election than I have anything on a national or state or federal level. It's just, there's no transparency, I don't think, and not enough restrictions on who votes and when. So it shouldn't be that complex. I mean, it started out super simple, and it's really segregated and isolated, and that's one reason it works, is because it's not really centralized. So anybody else get to watch a movie? Joel, what did you think about it?
I really like the movie. It's clearly, there's some exaggeration. I think they put.
Most definitely.
I don't know if they put too much blame on the banks. I'm not going to defend the banks too much, but it's a little hysterical against the banks and what they knew, and it kind of paints them in a light as they were purposely out to rip off the American people. And maybe they did. I don't know. I started at J.P. Morgan Chase.
Yeah.
Just 6 months before all of this went down. So I was brand new. I really didn't know what was going on. Luckily, I was, such a low-paid back office employee at the time that, like, my job was safe. I got through it fine. And a lot of that movie focused on Bear Stearns, who ended up. So at the end of the movie, they're watching the stock price fall down to $32 a share. Well, they ended up failing. J.P. Morgan bailed them out. So Heritage, we called it Heritage Bear. When we bought them, I think there was a big controversy. And I think we ended up giving them their shareholders. I think we ended up paying them $2 a share. Was all they got out of it. And then some of their employees joined us, and I remember working on trying to merge our what's called KYC, which is know your customer. So we'd have duplicate customers.
Oh.
So merge the KYC profiles for them. And I just remember the employees from Bear were kind of dicks. They didn't really want to be there.
Yeah.
But at the time I was like, this is probably going to be a cool story in 10 years or 20 years. Now,
turns out, yeah.
It's been that long. It's kind of crazy, but I hadn't thought about it for so long.
That's true. I hadn't either. Yeah.
I don't know. I really liked it though. I think helps you understand, simplifies the terms, CDOs and credit default swaps. And so I do a lot of work now supporting our swap dealer business. So I get to understand a little bit more about what they're doing. So I think the banks were just servicing their clients.
Absolutely.
And banks, that's their job. They'll do something for the client. They're not going to hold on to the risk. They're going to hedge their risk one way or another. I think at the end they kind of glazed over it, but there was a delay when they thought that their short position should have paid off. But the thing is, it's not really a mark-to-market type of a business. There's no public trading in these instruments that they were in.
That's true.
So it wasn't updated live. So I think the banks were doing some shady shit with their books were screwed up, and they needed to delay a week to get as much of this off their books as possible. And some banks got left behind, like Lehman Brothers and Bear. WAMU was one that went out of business because of it, which JP Morgan also bought WAMU. I remember those people.
I forgot that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Good movie. Good pick.
Yeah. And, I think the people buying the home have a responsibility also. It was almost the Wild West as far as who they would give a mortgage to, as far as what was verified and what they could do. But at the same time, you're the one buying the house. You have to have some responsibility in this game also. And part of the downside is the overboard they went now, because I'm going through that process now, and it's crazy to some degree about where everything has to come from and this and that and the other. I guess it's more open, but I think the scrutiny on the buyer is certainly much higher than it was then, for sure.
Yeah, my favorite characters, not my favorite characters, but I really enjoyed the Schmidt. Schmidt from New Girl. You know that show?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's like one of the mortgage brokers, and when they go out to Arizona or wherever.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. Him and he like
the bro guys.
Yeah, with a boat and whatever. Yeah, and then he's looking for a job at the Target job fair at the end or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I like those guys.
Just a little goalie.
Yeah. Yeah, they picked the perfect guys for those two bros that were real estate dudes, or mortgage guys or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. And they're talking to the strippers. But Rawls, did you get a chance to watch it?
I did not get a chance to watch it.
No, you put it on your list because it's entertaining. I think they tell the story well. Joel hit it on the head. Obviously, they're going to over exaggerate some points, and somebody's got to hold the bag, I suppose, at the end. But overall, it was I think really well done. Good acting. I think also good characters, and really kind of just peel back some of the layers a bit more, kind of how it all played together, and it, it's a natural progression of how things are going to go along, given the openness that there was. So
I like the guy that Ryan Gosling plays.
Oh yeah, just kind of the self-aware dick. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so the Deutsche Bank guy, and he's prominent in the book. The book is one of the best books I've ever read.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out.
He has another book called Flash Boys, but around financial stuff. He has a lot of financial books, but Flash Boys is really good. I really don't think that you could have wound that around. Whoever wrote it for the screen really did a good job because he was very transparent. He was he had no political. He didn't have any. He was just riding the money wave, and he got on it early.
Yeah.
And yeah, so smart enough guy to recognize it, but not like the other ones in the thing. And then I follow Michael Berry to this day to see what he invests in.
Oh,
right
yeah.
now, investing
Water?
in farm and water.
Yeah.
So, but I like the other part about the movie is I like the parts with Anthony Bourdain and Richard.
Oh yeah, like the celebrity drop-ins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie, big fan of that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really unique. Realize they would have like so they'd have like this complex maybe definition or something like, well, let's go to Margot Robbie in a bathtub and she'll tell us more about that, or let's go to Anthony Bourdain in his kitchen and he'll tell us about this. So it's not like these random celebrities would just drop into the movie and explain the concept that they were going over, and then it would jump back to the movie.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, because in a lot of movies they'll talk about something like collateralized debt obligations, or
yeah,
I guess they didn't describe what swaps are. They're a little bit complicated, but
Robbie, you were just watching the bathtub.
Yeah.
Did she describe swaps? She explained what shorting something was.
I think
that was big.
I was just hoping those bubbles would get shorter, but anyways, yeah.
And synthetics. What did they call them?
Oh, I already have amnesia.
Synthetic CDOs.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
CDOs,
Yeah.
That scene with the guy that sells those was classic. I love when Gosling looks over to Brahms' crew and he goes, "Your boss's face is starting to boil like that dude from Doom."
Yeah. I don't. It's almost like on Family Guy when they'll go to a movie clip or something to talk about, like they call it takeaway or breakaways. I don't recall seeing that in a movie where they placed it like that. It was just highly entertaining and well done too. But yeah, that was probably one of my favorite parts. It was pretty cool.
One other thing I'll mention about it is, so I read Michael Lewis's book, The Big Short, probably in 2010, maybe. It didn't take him long to get it out. And I think he actually maybe started working on it a little bit before. But it's interesting, the other people that sort of benefited from choosing correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was one of my favorite authors, Nassim Taleb.
Oh,
and he, about that time, wrote a book called Fooled by, and then wrote a book called Black Swan. And he has continued to write some of the best books, and I don't think he would have garnered the fame that he did had he not been one of the guys out front saying that the housing market's going to collapse and people making fun of him. And then the other guy that I followed is Peter Schiff, who runs Euro Pacific Capital. It's an investment. It's like a brokerage, like Merrill Lynch or something, but smaller. And I ended up putting my money with him just before. I've been with him 2 years, and just because of all the stuff that he, how early he was on it, and he still gets made fun of to this day. But I've outperformed the market with my portfolio under his management. So, anyways, I think it's still funny that the people that were the primary heroes of The Big Short are still the people that are getting made fun of even now. Like, people discredit Nissim Taleb, they'll discredit Michael Berry, they'll discredit Peter Schiff, but those guys called it and they stuck to it and didn't waver. And but still, they don't garner as much respect as you think they would.
Yeah, it goes against the common grain, I guess, and we're seeing that now on other things also. So that's part of the. If enough people are against you, obviously you have to be wrong, and I've never agreed with that. So that's the sumbitch. So I think we're gonna shift. I've got an intellectual moment of the week, and it's more of I've kind of gone a slightly different direction on this, and it inadvertently tied in supremely well, I think, with our conversation. So basically, I've got kind of a smart quote from a smart person, and I think we could shoot up a bit and see what it means to you, but I think it ties in well. So if everybody can hear me all right, I will go ahead and read this quote real quick, and then I'll tell you who it's from, and then we can chat about it. So this is the Far Reaches Intellectual Moment of the Week, brought to you by Pendleton Cigar and Mixer. So this quote goes, "It is paradoxical, yet true to say, that the more we know, the more ignorant we become in the absolute sense. For it is only through enlightenment that we become conscious of our limitations. Precisely one of the most gratifying results of intellectual evolution is the continuous opening up of new and greater prospects." That's from Nikola Tesla. So basically, the more we know, the more we realize we don't know shiitake. So I thought, and it was sort of like me spinning the globe and sticking my finger on something, and that's the intellectual thought that came out this week, and I think it ties in well with a lot of our conversations, but particularly this week.
That's essentially the Dunning-Kruger effect, isn't it? Dunning-Kruger is, I'm sure you know, Richard, help me out. It's like, it's one of those you don't know what you don't know. Like, people can be overly confident that they are correct, and only like a truly wise person could leave some room to understand that they might not be correct.
Yeah.
Isn't that what Dunning? Maybe you got a computer there. You can look up what Dunning-Kruger is.
I know what you're talking about, but it's also like it also goes along with the Nissim Taleb and the Fat Tails and Black Swans. Like, we don't know what we don't know because we don't know it, and we can't plan for it. And that's what gets us. But everybody, I think that it makes it worse that people lean into it thinking that they can control everything.
Yes. And Joel, you are correct. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias in which people with low ability at a task overestimate their ability. It is related to the cognitive bias of illusionary superiority that comes with the inability of people to recognize their lack of ability. Yes, find the beginning of this circle. So,
AKA a modern day liberal.
You are correct, sir. Yes. So I'd never heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect. I knew the Freddy Krueger effect where you're afraid to go to sleep, but I think that's completely unrelated. Yes. And that's why I would have got kicked out of that class. That I can guarantee you. Yes. Ross, what are you ciphering on, man? You got that. Either you got gas or you're really thinking about something. Maybe it's both. I wouldn't rule that out either. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think about the Gunning-Kruger effect and then the quote that you said, and I think about our education system and where our general education system is today, how it lends to that effect.
Absolutely.
You know, the lack of knowledge, yet they'll instill in. If you look back at the education we got 20, 30 years ago through general ed, compare it to today's, and the fundamentals that we got that are missing in today's system can lead into maybe, I don't want to say ignorance, but the lack of knowledge that you still think you have it.
I think if you're constantly reinforced and told that you're right and special, you're bound to think that you are, and whatever you think is going to be right, which I think leads directly into this. I see there's nothing wrong with confidence, but you have to be confident enough to admit when you're incorrect or that you don't know, and also be told that that is wrong. Like, that's not the right answer. Let's talk through your process. Like, that's good feedback that I think a lot of people avoid recently, because that's just, it's not user friendly, but it's mandatory. That's how life works.
Well, yeah, like what Roy is talking about is like back in the day, and probably especially when you guys were in school, maybe a little less than when I was there, but I still remember hearing all the time that school's about learning how to think, like
How to learn,
how to problem solve, and it seems like maybe now it's a little bit more of what to think, especially in college.
Very profound, Joel. Well stated. Absolutely right. How to think versus what to think. I think that's freaking, you win the week right there, my friend. I
definitely experienced what to think in college and political science classes. I was a political science major until I had an epiphany and switched to finance. But
yeah, good move there.
Some of those poli-sci classes where they're like, read this book and, interpret what the author is saying, or 2 books and what's the connection. There was no ability in some of those cases to take an idea and expand on it. It's more regurgitate what you've just read.
I think that's tremendous.
I think that's getting worse and worse.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't say any better. That's all. That's freaking spot on. Absolutely. And I think that lends itself to so many other things about just problem solving. From something as simple as like, I have a flat tire, to what I want to do with my life versus, or this person's doing this or X. It all ties together,
Think about. I didn't.
Go, Joel.
I was just gonna say I didn't send it to the little group because I sent a Twitter link, so I think that gets held. I think that gets held up probably because of Raleigh's phone, but I just sent it to just Micah, and it was this forest in. Maybe you have your phone, you can pull it up, but there's this forest in California called the Muir Forest.
Yeah, John Muir. Yeah, like one of the first naturalists in the United States.
And
amazing.
And there's a sign posted as you enter this forest about.
I'm going to read it.
They called it. Yeah, read it. Read this sign.
Okay, you guys bear with me, because if my eye starts twitching and shit, you'll understand why. So it's over the traditional sign when you get there, and it's an official Forest Service or Park Service sign. Pardon me. So this is the John Muir Woods. It says Muir Woods, Queer Woods, and this is an actual printed. It's not somebody handwriting shit. Muir Woods is highlighting queer ecology and the new perspectives it gives us in this forest! Exclamation point. That's kind of the secondary title. Now it goes on for our edification. In case you're wondering, queer ecology is the study of reimagining how people think about nature. It studies gender, sexuality, and behavior in the natural world. Queer ecology questions the way people categorize nature into binaries or boxes. You evil bastards. I added that part. Oftentimes, these boxes don't account for how diverse nature is. Things are rarely as simple as A, B, or C. Nature is more of a blend of all of them. Some boxes, queer ecology challenges, are male/female, natural/unnatural, and human/nature. Now, if you're still standing at the sign and you're not bleeding out of your ears yet, as you explore the woods today, we hope you find new ways to view the world around you. When was the time you saw something in a new light, you closed-minded bastard? I added that last part too. And at the bottom, this exhibit is federal property. Destroying or removing it is a misdemeanor, punishable by a fine of up to $100,000 and 1 year imprisonment, or both. So, yeah, I would probably poop right there on the trail and turn around and leave. But I
So they trying to tell me them woods are gay.
think so.
Is that what they're saying?
Well, I saw those two trees rubbing against each other. It looked very, very questionable at best.
And that's in California?
Yeah, at the John Muir. Yeah,
Just outside of San Francisco.
yeah.
Their drug legalization might be a little more than ours.
Apparently, somebody's on the mushrooms. Not to brag, but I have natural resource degrees and a master's in ecology. I don't know what the hell that means. I'm serious. Yeah. I don't know what they're talking about.
It doesn't make sense. How can you study the reimagining of something? Like that's modern day college right there.
That is, yeah. Imagining is when you're sitting around pontificating or what ifing. Science is when you're proving yes or no or A or B or what about C. Yeah, I just don't know what they're trying to get at. I really don't understand what they're doing. Like, I'm going to look at that tree and be like, it's not really, because there's male trees and female trees and some are both. That's how nature is. But it's pretty straightforward. Like, I don't know what, and I honestly don't know what good reimagining that does for anything that's in the forest. It doesn't change the fact that juniper tree is a female. I'm sorry, me reimagining it doesn't help a thing. Yeah. I guess if I accidentally shot a doe during buck season, I could try to reimagine it into a buck. I don't think anybody's going to buy that either. So the worst part is we spent federal tax dollars to print that freaking sign. Somebody came up with it to begin with, and then they felt the need to go put the signs up part two, cover the other sign that's already in its place. So, yeah, it makes me want to bleed out my ears. Seriously. So,
well, that paradox, is the same very thing that goes on with media and social media. Like Facebook thinking that it's the definitive answer.
Yes.
That their fact will answer definitively. To have that kind of hubris, to not know what you don't know, is
I'm gonna tell you what you don't know. Yeah, the correcting and the filtering and the all of that for you poor dumb peasants. Yeah, but all that plays together. I'd actually forgotten you sent that earlier today, Joel. Maybe because I passed out from rage or forgot how to breathe after reading it. But I appreciate you. It was worth reading again for sure, especially in this forum, because Raleigh doesn't know where shit or go blind right now. I think I can definitely say that. Dude, it could just as easily be on a sign in Wallowa County. Because, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to really break that paragraph down and try to reimagine what it means. But yeah, wasn't that the term they used about cops too? They should reimagine the police force. Wasn't that the term? Does that sound familiar? Yeah.
Yeah.
Reimagine. That was one of the talking points that went out. It's about reimagining the police. Yeah. And I haven't heard much about them sending social workers on domestic calls. Have you guys?
I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah,
Yet.
I imagine I imagine the social worker's like, you can go pound sand, which for those of you that recall, that means shove it up your ass. Yeah. I'm a social worker. I'm not going on domestic disturbance call. Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably having a hard time staffing those people.
Yeah, exactly. I doubt the cops that are resigning are signing up for the social worker jobs to go do that one. Yeah. So yeah, reimagine the police. That's what sparks my brain. So I guess that's the trigger word for if you don't like it, just reimagine it and see how it turns out. Yeah. Huh, what the hell? Rawls, you get a ticket? Just reimagine it didn't happen. All is well. Tra la 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 la.
He's just quiet now. I think we pissed him
I think
off.
we just broke him. Like it just went like down. Yeah, like it's just mirror force. We reimagine.
Maybe he's really into queer ecology. He's mad we're making fun of it.
Maybe if you are, I mean, hey, we already established that Joel's bi-coastal, and we're okay with that. So it's okay if you like queer ecology. We still love you. It's fine. Yeah.
Queer ecology.
I mean, we're gonna have to reimagine our friendship, I suppose, but that's okay. Yeah. Like,
he's so into it, he's taking all the bulls out of his cows and
Yeah.
hoping to bring it next year.
yeah, absolutely. You don't need those. Just reimagine it, man. Yeah. Come on. For those of you that are just listening as you're driving down the road, Raleigh's just got his hands behind his head, leaning back in his chair with what I would call the definition of a shit-eating grin and shaking his head back and forth like, what's happened to this world? Yeah. I should have been born 100 years ago. And I think that quite a bit of times. Yeah. So
I feel like we're living in the same society that Germany lived in leading up to Hitler's reign.
you sound like somebody that's talked about history. That will not happen. You need to really reimagine that, Raleigh, because it's not accurate. Yeah. That shit didn't really happen. Silly. Yeah, the amount of, I guess control is one word, whitewashing for another, I guess filtering, I guess the restriction. I find it ironic that, there's probably there's certainly more outlets and more information supposedly free-flowing now than at any other time in history. Yet I think, A, we're all dumber to some degree, and B, there's a greater restriction of freedom, I think, than we've seen in a long time about who can say what and where on what platform and how. I just find that extremely concerning and somewhat ironic at the same time. That's where we're at. It's a weird place we become in, and I definitely see your correlation to that time and frame for sure, because it was really about the state media and like nothing to see here. Yeah. So there'll be other alternatives. So yeah, just saying. Man, damn fine intellectual moments, guys. Man, I'm almost proud of us. I really have to say. I think we probably shocked some people today, and that's good. That's good for them. So, time for a quick message from our friends at B&K Auto Salvage. Riley, where B&K Auto Salvage located at?
Brandon Baker.
Outstanding. Thank you, Mr. Bisley. So now, with social distancing rules in effect, as we've already discussed, what you can do is just call, order your part, and pay over the phone. It's as simple as that. Those nice folks at B&K will pull out and have that part ready for you to pick up post haste. Or, and I know you're out there, those of you that prefer to pull your own, just come on down and enjoy some good old junkyard fun. You might even find what you're looking for. That's, remember, our friends at B&K Auto Salvage. If you like to pull it yourself or have somebody else do it, they're there for you. So give them a call. Outstanding.
Is that really the slogan?
That's the copy. Yeah, I might have embellished a little bit, but that's the gist of the copy. So I really appreciate those guys having that. Yeah, if you like to pull it on your own, come on down. So that leads us to one of our favorite segments, the Far Reaches Word of the Week. This Word of the Week also brought by Bradburr for all your random words. I think Richard's still pondering. Either he's got a tremendous word or he's still thinking that. Either way, he shall not disappoint. Okay, so let's buy some time. Let's go to the local weather and sports by Raleigh.
Well,
Today's weather is hot.
Honor the word haberdasher while I think of a good one.
Well, that's just unfair. Yes, because there's a lot of people think that means a hat maker, but it actually is more of the overall accoutrement for dressing men, basically. Yeah. If you want me to spoil that for you, so
There's actually two different definitions for it.
did you look it up already?
Yeah, the North American definition is a
Hmm.
dealer in clothing.
Outstanding.
The British definition is
Brr.
a dealer in small items used in sewing.
Ooh, kinky.
Nice.
So it got bastardized then. Yeah. Interesting. Here, Richard's flipping through the TV guide and shit, looking through.
I used so many words today.
You used them all up already? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Oh, I got a good word for the week.
All right, you son of a bocce. Bring it on.
Dominion.
Dominion. As in
the voting machines. What is that?
those guys?
What's that word mean other than the voting machine?
I'm thinking it might be taking on a new meaning as of the last few weeks.
It certainly has. I just did the Google machine, and the top 40 responses were about Dominion voting. Yes. So, yes.
Well, there's a country band called Old Dominion, right?
Well, there is. Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
couple,
there's-
apparently. Yeah.
So some sort of a southern, probably old term has to do with I don't know. where
Old
you're from.
Dominion musical band. Old Dominion new self-titled album available. Yes.
There's a Freightliner called Old Dominion also.
Well, by
Or
God.
Freight.
Oh yeah, Old Dominion. So yeah, there's a lot of variations thereof. Yes.
I'm guessing it has to do Dominion, like must have some sort of missionary connotation to it.
I would have thought it was basically like where you originate from, like a domain kind of a thing. Maybe.
Well, it's related to domain. Yeah. The power or right of governing and controlling, sovereign authority,
Oh, wow.
control, domination, a territory. Yeah.
That's a really spooky.
What?
Yeah, I think Richard's demons are getting a hold of him again. Yeah, it's.
I was about to say something really good too.
I think they got him. Yeah.
Oh,
Say it again.
You're back.
that's sort of a subversive thing to name a voting machine system.
Well,
Well,
what does
yeah.
it mean?
Like if you have rule or something over something, you have dominion over it. So that's a way to look at it. Yeah, a king has dominion over his kingdom.
Dominate.
Control or exercise of control.
Mm-hmm. The power or right of governing.
Sphere of influence or control.
So it is like dominate. That's probably one of the
Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
that was my fun word of the week. We don't have to dwell on it.
No, I think it was interesting to see just how it's spurred back to the top in a different connotation to the Dominion voting machines. I found out a little tidbit also on this. The nice couple that were my home inspectors. The man's originally from Germany. They lived for a brief time in Venezuela, and the wife told me, I haven't fact checked this obviously because it was interesting, that the Dominion voting machines were the ones used there when what's his dick was voted in, and they said the same thing, like it was one way when they went to bed and they woke up the next day. It was almost universal voting for what's his name, the guy that took over Venezuela and put it in the crapper.
Hugo Chavez.
Yeah, Chavez. Yeah, and so they got the hell out of Dodge and moved to Minneapolis right when that occurred. And she said, "Shit, that wasn't a whole lot better." So now we've been in Florida for about 15 years or 10 years. Yeah. So, but yeah, she's like, "Dude, those are the same machines they used in Venezuela." And I'm like, "What? How do you know that?" She goes, "Oh, we used to live there." Yeah. I'm like, so strange tie-in. Circular. Yeah. Well, good choice of words, Richard. Well done.
I'm having a border collie emergency, so you guys carry on.
Okay. Keep your pants and your powder dry.
Come on, you.
Ain't no emergency like a border collie emergency, because the border collie emergency don't stop. Yes.
Who gets the next movie of the week? It's Raleigh, right? Get a Raleigh movie?
Already?
Sure, unless you got something burning. Yeah,
I
it's Raleigh's
don't
turn.
know.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's Raleigh's turn. So, but that'll lead us over to what we learned. Tick tock,
Oh,
tick
yeah.
tock. So, next segment, what we learned. Doesn't like I said, guys. We always have to get. We overthink this, and I don't think we really have to. But we have Richard back. Oh, we thought you were like gone. So no, we've
We
just
gotta let him in a second.
okay. Well, we just started our what we've learned segment. We've warned Raleigh that he's got the next movie of the week, and so we're going to start with you for what we learned. So in case you have to run up again, you can be on time. So again, nothing like earth shattering. It's just what we learned. It's just sort of a brief recap before the recap. Yeah.
I learned a lot from Joel, having lived through the thing. I always like to talk to people I don't have much opportunity to talk to people that were actually in New York in 2008. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So and what else did we learn? We learned that Eastern Oregon is pretty resilient, even though they continue to just make our lives very difficult in unnecessary ways.
Crazy times, my good sir. Crazy times. Yeah. Mr. Joel, what do you think there, good sir? What have you learned?
Factual stuff. I've learned a lot about. I would say I've learned a lot about COVID over the last week.
Mhm.
Yep, but I think on a bigger scale, like living in a small community, like for a lot of years, like that sounded like hell to me. It just has so many advantages, and I wonder if did everybody see those things before I did. I don't know.
No.
Just something I've been thinking about a lot.
Yeah.
Like, what's the? How did I not realize the benefits of that? Why did it take me 15 years to, I guess, appreciate it on an even even bigger level? I mean, I've always liked going back to Pendleton and stuff,
Mhm.
but there's a lot of benefits to living in a small town.
I don't think we don't realize those until we've had to live it in a different manner, experience it somewhere else, and not had. There's times when knowing everybody is a burden. You know, you have anonymity in New York, which sometimes is nice. Other times, that's not what you want at all. You know, and so I think it's just a fact that we grow, we have different experiences. I think we live in a different realm, and so you can't appreciate it until you don't have it, and then I think it's just a lot of it's maturing too. I appreciate many different things now than when I was younger. Um, I think from something as random as I like Lyle Lovett music now. I used to hate Lyle Lovett. Now I think it's cool. So, it's just a different perspective. I think it's cool. The main thing is you're open enough with yourself and grown enough that you can say, yeah, I like this. This is what I want. This is cool. I think that's a great moment to have because many people sadly don't get that. So that's really cool. Mr. Bigsby.
I'm gonna piggyback off of what Richard had to say about Eastern Oregon being resilient, and that we brought up earlier about Idaho and would they want us, and there's a big reason why Oregon doesn't want to lose us is we're a major economic impact within this state, and part of what comes along with that is the communities and the people that are involved in those, and that the minute that old Katie got on their soapbox and gave the I'm gonna tell you how to live speech, it was instantly our county commissioner, one of our commissioners, reached out to everybody
Mhm.
as well as he could, and you kind of feel the communities get closer with what's going on, and it kind of bringing home, in my opinion, the way that our government was designed to be from the bottom up, as far as you're your local city and then into your county, and where the control really lies within this thing. And um, the resiliency is going to show up even more, I think, because as tooth and nail start coming together here, I think that they're going to find that maybe they don't have the power they thought they had.
Yeah.
Just my
I'm
observation.
gonna add something else that I learned. I listened to the Rocker podcast that you did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that that was a great interview, and I really have to commend him and the guys in Pendleton for everything that they attempted to do. I know I make fun of it because a little rivalry, but
Yeah.
no, everything that they attempted to do, and then how they turned it and gave back to the community that supported them. And I would encourage everybody, if you haven't listened to that one, listen to it, because it is a really good podcast. So that was really good, Mike. And
Well, thank you, Richard.
appreciate you for doing that one.
And thanks to Randy for coming on. Completely open, very, very forthcoming. He wants to come on again with all of us so we can all chat too. I think it would be fun, and I want to get him to bring his brother Paul too, because those two together are an absolute hoot. But yeah, I think I want to thank Randy again for his time and just being really open with us. I think it was great. So I appreciate that, Richard. That means a lot.
Hey, Raleigh, do you think there is a breaking point? So with these continued open, close more often than open, shutting down, really for the benefit of Multnomah County, I guess. But you don't need the same policy in Wallowa County that you need in Multnomah County. There's got to be a breaking point, right? I mean, where a mass protest on the scale that
Mhm.
Wallowa County can put together and be like, fuck you, we're going to open up our restaurants here. What are you going to do about it? You're going to pull all of our liquor licenses. What are you going to do?
No, the power of the county. I mean, the most powerful seat in the county is the sheriff, and the near as I can tell, I mean, it's kind of just status as could be, other than maybe the restaurant business, and nothing's really changing in our county. However, yeah, I do think there's a breaking point if they want to continue to push and enforce what she says they're going to enforce, punishable by fines and jail time. You're gonna wake a giant. The things that I've been seeing on just in the last 4 or 5 days on social media, I mean, people are fucking pissed, and they're not talking like we're mad, we're gonna throw a fit here. Like, they're getting to the point where they're ready to align and try to do something about it.
Put a line in the sand. Yeah.
What that means, I can't tell you right now, but yeah, I mean, we live in America, and there's freedoms that come with that. And if you want to start pissing people off, start fucking with their freedoms and see what happens.
And their livelihood, and
yeah, well, it all comes along with the freedom that we get to have,
and responsibility. Those two go hand in hand, and we have both of those. The fact that somebody would have the audacity to think that I can tell you that you can only have 6 people over your house for Thanksgiving, are you out of your ever-loving mind? That is the most. If I woke up today and heard that, I wouldn't know what freaking planet I'm on.
Well, I think of the grassroots type of people that are in rural America, and the things that they enjoy to do in their lives, and the social gatherings and events that have been affected by this for them. And you look at county fairs and rodeos, and the things where they socialize that have been taken away from them, and then now, even more importantly, the time that they get to spend with their family and socialize, and a major religious holiday coming up on top of that.
Yeah,
you're not just it goes beyond a mandate for some people. I mean, because yeah, you know what? It is the coronavirus. It is not something to take lightly. However, it is not the governor's fucking place to tell people how to live their life. And
No.
they're not going to stand for it. And yeah, we live in a pretty complacent society that rolled over and kind of slowly taken a jab in the ribs. And over time, things have developed and changed. But I don't know. I don't see it something that they're going to take for long.
I believe in the pendulum theory, and I feel like the Democrats have been kicking ass in Oregon, California, Washington for the last 9 months, and they've won. So they got their guy in office. They mostly stopped with their violent protests, and they're sort of rubbing it in now with this one. And I feel like they're kind of just celebrating their little victory. You got fucking Gavin Newsom down there in California violating his own fucking rules.
At dinner with a large group of people and no mask.
Yeah. And this is going to backfire hard. And I think it's going to be violent.
It certainly could be.
I'm interested to watch it. I'm looking forward to it.
It's a healthy cycle. Yeah. No doubt. But yeah, there comes a point. Well, and you have to think about, okay, we're at this point now, and you're telling me I can't have more than 6 people at my house for this because it's quote unquote for my better good. It's not that long so there'll be swatting a McDonald's out of your hand because you're already fat and you've already probably got diabetes. So none of that for you. Okay. It's a liberal's wet dream right now, and they're just getting started. So I don't mean to be the black helicopter guy. This shit's coming down the road, but we've never seen the government give back any power or authority once they have it. That shit don't happen. So, it's death grip on this, and I don't think you get it any better until somebody bitch slaps somebody. So that's my from the stands.
All I have to say, Joel, is if they had their way, I was supposed to feed their wolves my calf last year.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Pound sand. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Tell the title. I know what the title of this one's going to be.
Go Pound Sand. GPS. Yeah. Strong chance of that. Yes. But seriously, it's about choice and freedom and responsibility. And we've all had those our entire lives, and we've done pretty damn good with it. And so, I think one of the things I've learned, and not necessarily just today, but it gets reseated home every time, is for the longest time, I was a huge opponent to term limits. My theorem always being, look, that's why we vote. That's how term limits are put into place. I've had realizations in the past several years that that's not right. I think the president should be like 1 6 or 7 year term, because I don't like how the second term they spend most of their time working on re-election for the next, and they get to fly around on Air Force One and they do all other shit because they're worried about getting reelected. So I say, give the president the 7 year term, then you're gone. Senators, you get your 6 year, and reps, you get your 4. If you're a rep, you do it once, you go home. If you want to run for Senate, you can do it. If you get elected, you get to run once, and then you go home. I think that's our system. I think our systems, I don't know why when they first said the president can only have 2 terms, that the people didn't demand that Congress do the same thing at the same time, because I just see no good of these people who've been in Congress for over 40 years. That's been their career. And we've got nothing to show but bullshit left, right, and center. So I don't know how you get the people who make the laws to vote themselves out, but that's what's going to have to happen. It's the same thing with state and local. Like, do your time. Thank you for your service. Now go back and earn a living.
Go give some money to oh, damn it. I gave some money to them this year. Continental Convention guys.
Yeah. I'd agree.
That is a way that we get term limits without having to have those guys or elected officials have any say in it.
Mm-hmm.
if we can get the states. And I think at one time they got up to 36, but it takes so long to get them all built. I don't know what it is to tip it over to start a convention, but there's people out there working on it, and I've donated money to them. I pretty much donate money to them and Wikipedia. So
Let's look into that because I think that's important. I really do. I think that's a healthy system. It's not meant to be a career. It's not. It's a service, and then you go home. So, and when I was younger, I didn't think I'd ever change my mind on that, but that's certainly relative in my mind. I think it's what we need to go to. So, indeed, yeah. So, Rawls, you got a movie for us for next time yet, or you need some more time to ponder on that?
No, I do, and I hate to come back into such a political theater, but the Dinesh D'Souza's new Trump card.
Oh, interesting.
Is
first
that what the
document.
movie's called? What is this?
It's a
Second document.
documentary type of movie that Dinesh D'Souza did called Trump Card.
Okay.
It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at Amazon Prime. It's on
Okay.
there.
I've not seen it yet. I like his writing. I like his talks. I've not read too much of him, but I'm interested in seeing that. So perfect.
Which one was his first one? The first one he did was really good.
I think it was
2018.
Poundeth the Sand, I think is what it was called. And eventually it's frozen at all
2008.
times to freeze.
Yeah.
You just look.
I look confused.
By the way, Michael, my wife's sitting over here, and she's pretty certain that the name of this particular podcast is Pound Sand.
There's a distinct possibility in that. Yes. Yes. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200, but go pound sand. Yes. So.
Unite, pound sand.
What's that?
Unite and pound
Pound
sand.
sand. Yes. The pound sand party. Yes. we walk around little buckets and spades. Yeah. Go pound sand. Yeah. So. I think that leads us very well into our final segment of best thing of the week. Rawls, what are you saying? I can't hear you.
I'm getting words from the seats over here.
Oh,
that,
outstanding.
we need to see on the next one how many different ways there is to go pound sand or tell someone to.
Today we deep dive into the concept of pounding sand, and let's talk about the traditional method. And now I could never forget the old Nevada two-step. It would be. Oh, that's awesome. Raleigh,
Anyway.
give us your best thing of the week, Rawls. Let's end this on a high positive note, or however you want, but that's the whole. Yeah.
Best thing of the week. Gosh, my days all run together. But how about the snow melting and feeding hay?
Nice Chinook. Yeah. Absolutely. I'll tip my hat to that.
All
Yeah.
things.
Richard Bradbury.
Am I frozen?
You were, yes.
I had two good things. Weighed up my calves. I'm really happy with where they're at. Really happy with that. And then sold my first house, which I think is sort of like around the 5-minute mile. Once you get past that, I think it's much better. Or 4-minute mile.
I was gonna say, I barely drive a 4-minute mile. Yeah. So
But
congratulations, Richard.
yeah. I had something else, but it's gone.
Yeah, it might come back to you. We're going to go to Joel real quick, and then if you want to jump back in, feel free. Mr. Joel?
Gosh, I don't really know. I always struggle with this one. Best thing yet.
You get over-
I'll just say, getting back into town, seeing my girlfriend. Hadn't seen her for 6 weeks. I
Outstanding.
guess
Good answer.
it's a
Yeah.
politically correct
Well,
response.
that's the necessary and the smart and truthful answer. You maniac. Yes. I mean, that's what you told me earlier today, so I'm going to repeat it back to you. Yeah, just so you remember. Yeah. So, my best thing of the week is just being able to reconnect with some really good friends. Hadn't been in contact for a while, and it's those good friends like you just kind of pick right back up where you left off. It's just been a good recharge for me, and even just, I guess, appreciating my friends a bit more than I already have too. But that's sort of been my epiphany. And my best thing of the week too is just having that outlet when you need. We all have a kind of at least I do, anyways. I suppose different friends. If you've got a different problem or comment or thought or question, you don't always go to the same well, because after a while, Raleigh's going to stop freaking answering the phone. So, but having that ability and remembering to be, kind of grateful for that. So, not to get all Thanksgiving on you, but that's mine. So, yeah. Richard, anything else you want to add to that? Do you have any more epiphanies while we were pontificating?
Nope.
Wow.
Are you guys all cooking turkeys next week?
Yeah, smoking a turkey and probably maybe a ham or a prime rib also.
I think we're doing prime rib.
A rumpf, yes.
What about you, Joel?
Oh, if we're
Turkey
here in
sandwich?
the city, got some hurdles to jump through. If we can make it up to Cooperstown, New York next week, we're gonna have a turkey. But if we're in the city, we'll probably just get pizza or something.
Cool. Chinese or pizza? Oh, that sounds good.
Chinese, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Jewish tradition.
Something to be said for that, yeah. Fa ra 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 ra.
If worst comes to worst, I've had 3 Cracker Barrel Thanksgivings. Not bad.
That sounds like a Lifetime movie of the week there. A very Cracker Barrel Thanksgiving, starring the Bradbury Clan. Yeah. That'd be awesome. I'd watch the shit out of that.
I think Elena.
It's on CMT Network for sure.
Hallmark Channel or something.
Elena and I's first Thanksgiving was in a Cracker Barrel in Midland, Texas.
Oh, man. Those are the ones you don't forget, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I felt like that scene in Tin Cup.
Yeah. It's in Odessa. I'm from Odessa.
There's Waffle House in Odessa.
No, it's in Odessa. I know. It's in Odessa. Yeah. I'm not sure I'm happy or sad that I knew exactly what line you were referring to in Tin Cup. Yeah. So I think I'll take that.
That probably ought to be a movie of the week one of these days.
Oh, kids. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's I'll gladly watch it again too.
I've only watched it 70, 80 times.
Good Lord. There was a time in college, summertime, me, McDave, and Poyo, we'd get home from work and we'd either watch Tin Cup, Happy Gilmore, or sometimes both. Poor Mrs. Houchin. Oh my God, it's that golf movie again. We're like, which one? Any of them. Oh my God. Yeah. So it was like, get home from work, Tin Cup, Happy Gilmore, sometimes both. Yeah.
Roy, your river's full of bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a semi-plutonic little kiss, maybe. Yeah, like we got together like a couple pair of old shoes or something, Yeah, like shit, he hit it down the fucking road, didn't he? Yeah, still going. So, yeah, beautiful times. Beautiful times.
Waggle.
Yeah, always got her waggling. Yeah.
My other favorite line from that movie is, if you can remove the sexual undertones from that conversation, then yes, sir.
Then Romeo. Yeah. I thought I had a Dr. Griswold. Yeah. That was like, I love them, well, hell, you're going to get the riddle. I'm asking the riddle. I already know it. I can't. Oh, I'm in. Yeah. So. All right, it's bag butting time. Yeah. So we don't have to watch it. We just gave like the highlights. Yeah. So bet you got a golf watch, don't you? Yeah, I think you got a pretty good one too. Yeah, it's he hates kids, little dogs. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the best. God, I love that movie. quality. Yeah. So Joel,
How do
guess
you
what your
think
next
you look-
movie is?
How do
Yeah.
you think you look? Yeah. How do you think you look shooting Chili Pepper out?
And Lee Jansen's
Lee
ass. Yeah.
Jansen's
I look like a fool. Yeah.
You know,
How
the
did
best-
you, a legend, end up shooting 83? Well, I missed a 4-footer on 18 for 82. Yes.
all you need is a 7-iron.
Yep. Yep. The old 10 cup. Raleigh knows that for sure. He's got about 9 of them in his golf bag. Raleigh's got 9 7-irons, one old wood, like seriously a wood. Yeah. And then a putter that I think is like park chicken neck and maybe a bull scrotum. I don't know what it is, but yeah. That is
And
a
it's left-handed.
big. Yeah, exactly. It's because, why not? Yeah. Yeah. 19 7-irons, man. I'll never forget. Hey, swing by my mom's house and grab my golf bag, will you? Yeah, sure. What in the elk is this thing going on? Yeah, it's like 7 yard sales got together and all said, go pound sand. What's left? Yeah.
It's a beaut.
Oh my gosh, it's glorious. Yeah. All right, kids. So we got next movie of the week is the Trump Card by Dinesh, which will be an excellent movie to review and get some insight into. Raleigh, don't forget that also gives you the word of the week. So as you're scrambling around this week, take some notes, jot them down. Maybe hell, ask the wife for a medical term. Maybe how's that sound? My little hinty hint. Yeah. So speculum. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. We can't thank everybody enough for listening, sharing, liking. Make sure you send in your questions, comments, concerns. Don't forget to share this with your friends and your enemies. Hell, play this during Thanksgiving if you don't want to worry about buying any Christmas gifts this year. That should definitely free up your time for that. Go forth. Richard's doing some kind of strobe effect trying to get me to go epileptic, I think. That's really handy. For those of you who are legally watching this while you drive down the highway, I feel sorry for you. So we will wrap this episode of The Far Reaches, and thank you all, and we will see you so very soon. Thank you much.